Hi class, this video is going to walk you through the syllabus. I'm not going to touch on everything. I'm going to hit the highlights, so you'll need to read the whole thing on your own. This is a binding document. It's important that you read it, but I'm going to go through and touch on some of these things to make sure we're on the same page. You've got some of my contact info here. Please use it. Again, if you have any questions at all, you've got my email here. You've got my office extension. It's 208-467 and then the 8369. So 208-467-8369. So you can call, you can email. Don't make yourself a stranger, right? You've got the university values here. I'm not going to cover those that much. The course description, we've talked about this a little bit. There are three main branches of philosophy, three big branches. Epistemology, which are issues of knowledge and truth. Metaphysics, which are issues of ultimate reality. Again, what is ultimate reality? What is human nature? Does God exist? Things like that. And then ethics, moral philosophy. How should we live? How do we determine what is moral versus immoral and whatnot? So all three of these branches will be covered in this course briefly, right? We're going to skim the surface of each. The 5 weeks are going to be guided by questions like, what is truth? Or what is certainty? Can we be certain of anything? How do I make moral choices? And these kinds of deep questions will guide the course. Course requirements. This is what many of you care about, so I want to be as clear as I can. Right? There's going to be reading. I expect that you're going to do all of the reading, right? That you're going to read all the assignments. And then you're going to be responsible for 2 reading reflections every week. And so you know I've structured it so that each week is identical. Like reading reflections are due on the same day every week. Peer responses are due on the same days every week. Critical assessment papers, which are the large papers, are due same day every week. So each week is just a carbon copy, and so you can get into a rhythm. So you're going to do some readings, and then you'll be expected to do a reading reflection. Okay? So let me talk about these a little bit. 400 to 450 words. If you see the green arrow there, and I'm strict on you hitting this number. You need to be between 400 and 450 words. Your reading reflections should engage the reading, give me some short quotes from the reading, show me that you did the reading, define some of the terms, right? And then the reading reflection should give me your perspective. Your voice should come through in the second half of the post. Why do you think this is strong or weak? What questions do you have, right? I'm going to be giving you prompt questions for your reading reflections. You need to answer the prompt right, directly. So don't just write about whatever you want. Make sure you're answering one of the prompt questions I give. Sometimes I give you one question to answer, and everyone answers the same question. Sometimes I might give you 3 different questions, and I'm asking you to choose one, right? If there's more than one prompt available to you, don't try to answer all of them. Only answer one of the prompts for your reading reflections. Only answer one of the prompts, okay, for your reading reflections. Now, remember 2 things. Deal with the reading, define your terms, whatever, give Plato's view, then transition into your own voice and your own thoughts. Reading reflections are always due the same days. The first one will be due on Tuesday before 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, Idaho time. The second reading reflection will always be due on Thursday before 9 a.m. Okay? Tuesday before 9 a.m., Thursday before 9 a.m. Now, I encourage you to do these reading reflections Mondays and Wednesdays. That's what I encourage you, right? Finish your reading reflection on Monday, post it. Finish reading reflection 2 on Wednesday and post it. But I know some of you are night owls. Some of you work. Some of you like to wake up early in the morning to get your work done. So I'm giving you until Tuesday 9 a.m., Thursday 9 a.m. Okay? 2 reading reflections due every week. The second thing, I'm sorry. Reading reflections are each worth 10 points. So each reading reflection will be graded out of 10 points. The next thing is peer responses. So you're going to do some reading. You're going to all write reading reflections. After those are due, I expect you to go through and read all of your peers, right? So read all the other students' reading reflections. What did they say about the reading? What did they think about the prompt, right? After you've read all of them, I want you to choose one and give a formal response. We call it a peer response. And make sure you title your post. Don't just hit reply on this discussion board. Make sure you retitle your post peer response. Okay? So I know this is the one you want me to grade. And you'll give a formal response to that student, 150 to 200 words in length. And it needs to be substantive. It can't just be great post, right? Ask some questions, raise some issues, dig a little deeper, push each other in this, right? Have a discussion. Now, I encourage you to respond to lots of reading reflections, right? You might respond to 5 reading reflections, but I'm only going to grade your one formal peer response that has the appropriate title, okay? And that one needs to have the word limit. The other peer responses, the informal ones, the ones I'm not going to grade, they can be 15 words, right? You can just send someone a note. But the formal one needs to be 150 to 200 words. These are worth 5 points each, okay? When you do the peer responses, I'm encouraging you, I should say, each peer response is due, the first one, Wednesday before 9 a.m., every Wednesday before 9 a.m., a peer response is due. Peer response number 2 is due every Friday before 9 a.m. So again, the weeks look the same. Reading reflection due on Tuesday before 9 a.m., peer response due Wednesday before 9 a.m., always Mountain Standard Time. Reading reflection 2 is due Thursday before 9 a.m., peer response 2 is due Friday before 9 a.m. That's how it works. I encourage you to get these things done early, but that's your drop deadline. The third key component in terms of your grade and the requirements are critical assessment papers, or CAP papers as I call them. These are due every Sunday before midnight. Mountain Standard Time, Sunday before midnight, okay? These are 1,100 words to 1,350 words. I'm very strict on the word limit. Hit this word limit, right? I'm going to give you prompts. So you're going to know exactly what you should write on for these CAP papers, and make sure that your CAP papers directly answer the prompt at hand, okay? These are a big portion of your grade. Each CAP paper is worth 50 points. So I've created a separate video. After you get done right now with the syllabus, I encourage you to go and listen to that video about CAP papers, because I'm going to give you all kinds of tips about what I want, right? All kinds of things. That's important. Before you write any CAP papers, watch that video. Then, in each week, 1 through 5, I'm going to give you some specific help on the paper for that week. Okay? So there's some general CAP paper help and some specific CAP paper help. Both those should be important for you, right? So what are some of the things the CAP papers do? 1 is the word limit. 2, watch the green arrow down here. I'm going to want you to represent the reading for the week, the views of others. The reading maybe is about free will. The first part of your CAP paper is going to be saying something like, here's what Aristotle had to say about free will, right? And after you do that, and you use the readings for the week, and you give me some short quotes, and you really accurately articulate the views of others, which is important, then the third thing you'll do is you'll give me your own views, right? What do you think about Aristotle's view of free will? Right or wrong? Strong or weak? You're going to want to make your own argument. You might need to use some outside research. You can find so many great resources online, and that might help some. But a lot of it's going to be engaging with the ideas for the week and then providing your own argument. But your voice, your assessment, these are critical assessment papers, your assessment has to be heard in the paper. The majority of the grade is based on you making a philosophical argument, right? Again, due each Sunday by midnight. Now, I assign 5 CAP papers, 1 for each week, but I only grade 4. Your lowest one will be dropped. I encourage you to write all 5, and then I'll just drop the lowest grade. However, some of you might run into a busy time of the year. you might not be able to get to a CAP paper, you feel free to just skip one. You don't even have to turn it in. And then I'll just grade the other 4 and count the other 4. That's fine. So you get a freebie. Do with that what you will. A note about my response. I will read all of your reading reflections, and I will give you individual feedback and an individual grade. So you'll get some feedback. I will also provide a video response to the whole group, engaging further in the dialogue. So you'll get some individual feedback, and you'll get a group video. I will not provide that for peer responses. I will read them and grade them, but I don't provide feedback. But I will on the reading reflections. Late work. I don't accept it. So don't turn stuff in late. However, if you let me know and you say, hey, this is what's going on, I'm traveling, there's not going to be good internet access, this or that's happening, my grandmother died, I will work with you, right? I will extend some deadlines, we'll make it happen. But if you tell me after all this has gone down, I'm not going to be very lenient. So make sure you communicate with me up front. You see grading, it's basically straight percentage. Reading reflection and peer responses are 30 points a week. Critical assessment papers are 50 points a week. You times that by 5, you get a total of 350 points. So the class is out of 350 points. And then here's the grading scale. So at any time you can look at your total and know what you need moving forward to get the grade you're looking for. Course policies. Plagiarism's on the rise. It's like an epidemic. It's so easy to cut and paste things off the internet. Don't plagiarize. I will fail you for the whole class. That's my policy right here. If you plagiarize, you will fail the whole course. And I will argue to get you removed from the program. I don't have control over that, though. But there's no reason to cheat. Most students do it because they're scared. They don't know what to write. They're afraid of failing. If that is you, don't plagiarize. Email me. Talk to me. Let me know, and I can try to help. Okay? But please, 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 I know it's so easy to do, but do not plagiarize. Respectful and accurate language. We get into some controversial topics, right? We're talking about morality. We're talking about whether God exists. We're talking about the human soul. I encourage you to be honest. Disagree with one another. Do it respectfully. Do it with a loving attitude and an open mind. So you know people that say things like, well, I was just being honest, and you think to yourself, yeah, and you were also being a jerk, right? It is possible to be honest and be nice and respectful, right, in the way you phrase things, in the language that you use, and the attitude that you present yourself. So make sure you have an attitude of respect in all of your posts and emails, and this should go really well. I'm not going to go through the other policies, but I encourage you to look through them. Here's your schedule. At the very end of the syllabus, this is the most important piece because you're going to be using this every day. It breaks down your list of responsibilities each day. So week 1, it gives you the topic, philosophy and epistemology. And then it tells you on Monday, read these pages right there. Listen to the lecture, right? We got 2 lectures to listen to on Monday. Post a reading reflection. Now again, you have until Tuesday, 9 a.m. Tuesday, here's your reading. Listen to this lecture. Post a peer response. Of course, you have till Wednesday, 9 a.m. Wednesday, here's the reading, right? You get the picture. Each day is broken down. This is what I want you to follow. This is when I want you to listen to the lectures, when I want you to make the posts, and when things are due. I hope it's clear. If you have any questions at all, please let me know. Sometimes you'll see things like supplemental handout, so it's not your textbook. In this case, it's going to be on Angel, right? The supplemental reading will be on Angel under the content section. You can find it there. All right, I'm looking forward to it. If you have any questions, please let me know, and I'll see you guys online.